us for our January 20th, 2026 board meeting. Mr. Lowry, can you lead us in a moment of quiet reflection and the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, ma'am. May we all stand, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Sir Vice. Dr. Cobb, can we have roll call, please? Get on your job, Dr. Cobb.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Shonda Stovall,
Here.
Mr. Ed Lowry,
Here.
and Miss Mary Jane Abbott,
Here.
Miss Shantae Boyd,
Here.
Miss Monique Braswell,
She stepped out.
She's
Okay.
just a
Miss Venus Kane,
Here.
Mr. Walter Eubanks, Mr. Charlie Hanna, Miss Samantha Valentine,
Here.
Mr. Charlie Walker. We have 9 present.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we will move into our board norms for the month. There we go. Our board norms that we will be discussing this month, if you turn your attention to the screen, it will be strategic planning that falls in domain number 2 for the board. For number 1, we will commit to a vision of high expectations for all students. Number 2, we'll involve community input in the creating of our district strategic plan and always make this plan accessible for the community. It is on our website. Number 3, we commit to reviewing that strategic plan twice a year, every year, during board meetings to ensure that we are following and achieving the vision set out for the district. And number 4, we will foster an environment and commitment to continuous improvement. Those are our board norms, ladies and gentlemen, that's included, that guides the Board of Education and how we conduct ourselves. You're welcome to receive a copy of that at our website, www.rcboe.org. All right, we have no guests, so next we'll move into the recognition. We're going to have recognition, recognizing success, contributions, and excellence. This month, we're focusing on budget and finance. Mr. Lowry, I turn that over to you.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you so much. Well, our Budget and Finance Department, please stand. Yay, 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 yay. Some very, 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 very important people. A lot of us depend on you, and we want to say thank you. January 2026 is your month to celebrate, so give yourselves a great big round of applause. Also, my colleague, Ms. Board, she has a few things she want to say about you.
All righty. So budget and finance, you have 24 employees. The Budget and Finance Department provides comprehensive financial management and oversight for the school system. You are responsible for managing accounting functions for more than 50 schools and programs, administering over 24 annual grants totaling more than $30 million each year. You oversee general fund revenues, including QBE and ad valorem tax collections exceeding $369 million for fiscal year '26. You manage SPLOST funds and oversee all local school and program bank accounts, as well as 14 district-level operating and investment accounts. As we know, you handle payroll administration, procurement, accounts payable and reimbursements, and capital assets management, as well as regulatory reporting. So just some of the highlights to wrap it up for you. You have successfully implemented frontline absence management and time and attendance. You've transitioned more than 4,000 employees from a monthly to a semi-monthly payroll cycle. You strengthen and consistently maintain a healthy fund balance, and you recently hosted the most successful blood drive in RCBO history on January 9th with 35 donors. All right, thank you for all you do, Budget and Finance. Congratulations.
Also, we would like for y'all to come down and take a picture with us. Come on down. Zeke, we ready? 1, 2, 3. Y'all come on down.
And
Bobby.
Bobby Smith, come on with us, Mr.
too,
Bobby.
Fearless leader.
Ricky, Bobby. Sure.
Bobby. Ronnie, Bobby, bring it back.
Yeah, what? Where is that?
With the cap over here.
Okay, so they would put us in a hotel, then they would make return flights at the company's expense.
Awesome. All right, 3, 2, 1. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
My little measles reporter.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lai. I still say that every month we do this, we should have a theme song for them because the OJ's money would have been great.
Money.
It would have been great. It'd been the people that handle our paychecks.
Money.
I still, what we got to do to make that happen, Dr. Welch? We'll get a theme song every time we do this. There's a song for everything out there. Next, we'll have recognition of the Richmond County School System X-Hoop Shoot winners. Dr. Welch, Dr. Ponder, and Ms. Ross. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it's neither one of those.
Teamwork. Greetings, Dr. Cobb,
Creekman.
Ms. Stovall, board members. On behalf of Ms. Stephanie Ross, I'll be presenting the Elk Hoop Shoot winners. This is a national free throw competition that challenges students to demonstrate accuracy, focus, and resilience on the court. Our local contest was held on December 13th. All first place winners will be advancing to the district level. This competition will take place on February the 8th in Covington, Georgia. All national competitors will compete in Chicago for an all expenses paid trip by the Elks Lodge. We have Vanessa Murray from Bel Air Elementary School. First place, girls 8 through 9 division. Demetrius Johnson, Bel Air Elementary. First place, boys 10 through 11 division. Kayliani Santana, Bel Air Elementary. First place, girls 10 through 11 division. Cassidy Madison. Second place, girls 10 through 11 division. Dante Thomas, Bel Air Middle School. First place, boys 12 through 13 division. Aiden Curry, Pine Hill Middle School. Second place, boys age 12 through 13 division. And lastly, Brooklyn Gissentanner, Bel Air Middle School. Second place, girls ages 12 through 13.
So cute. I'm impressed. I got like 3 feet on that little girl. I can't check.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
So sweet. So cute. Oh, a little spelling bee. God, I'm so mad I missed the spelling bee this year. I'm so mad. So mad about it.
Next, we'll have the recognition of the Richmond County School System District Spelling Bee winners. Dr. Welch, Ms. Ponder, and Ms. Mathis.
Good evening. I have the honor and privilege of celebrating our Spelling Bee winners who competed on December 12th at our district Spelling Bee held at A.R. Johnson. These winners will participate in the Region 7 Spelling Bee on February 28th in Athens, Georgia. Please join me in celebrating Rory O'Donnell from Blythe Elementary. Marley Suddeth from Bel Air Elementary. Damani Hill from Freedom Park, K-8. And Peter Bow from Davidson Fine Arts. We'll come up and take our picture.
So sweet. She's our first ever winner from Blythe.
Really?
Yes, that's why we're so proud of her. Very proud. Good job, Rory.
There we go. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Ms. Mathis, I'm going to turn it right back over to you for the recognition of the Richmond County School System Young Georgia Authors winners.
Thank you. The purpose of the Young Georgia Authors Writing Competition is to encourage students to develop enthusiasm for and expertise in their writing, to provide a context to celebrate their writing success, and to recognize student achievement in the arts and academics. This prestigious competition has engaged Georgia students for more than 2 decades and is open to any student currently enrolled in a Georgia public school, grades kindergarten through 12th grade. All students in the Richmond County School System participated in this competition at their school level. The school level winners were then submitted, and we have tonight our district level winners for each grade level. Please join me in recognizing, beginning with our kindergartner, Melanie Garrett from Warren Road. She is very excited. She wrote a story about a little snowman, which is perfect. It's very cold. First grade from Lake Forest Hills, we have Willow Bennett. Second grade from Montesano, Corbin Bush. Third grade, Lake Forest Hills, Clara LeDuc. Fourth grade, Jamestown, Amarion Williams. Fifth grade, C.T. Walker, Janiyah Burse. Our sixth grader has actually won in third grade, fourth grade, and sixth grade from Freedom Park, Liana Burton. Seventh grade, Bel Air Middle School, Peyton Ara. Eighth grade, A.R. Johnson, Olivia Nurse. Ninth grade, Westside High School, Dang Tran. 10th grade, A.R. Johnson, Landon Freeman. Our 11th grader has also won previously, Kennedy Goodman from A.R. Johnson. And finally, our senior from Cross Creek, Jeffrell Jones. Congratulations to all our winners.
Can we take a picture? I love this picture. Everybody step a little bit.
Kindergarten friend.
Can I get with you? Is that okay?
Okay. You want to see in front of us? Yeah, we want to make sure everybody can see you.
I also want
win the George's Author competition. You did. Yes, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That was quick.
It was.
Well, I want to make sure that you have what you need.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Here's why I love student recognitions, because you get to see some students shine in the most amazing ways. I truly expect to see some books on the shelves by our junior authors, especially the ones that have won numerous of years. But my favorite part was when our kindergarten came out and she said, "Hello, everybody." This was her moment and she was taking it. And I love everybody. Yep. Uh-huh. So next we'll have the approval of the agenda.
Madam President?
Yes,
Second.
ma'am. Ms. Kane.
Under new business, I would like to add an item, please.
Okay, where under approval of the agenda or recognition?
Under new business,
Okay, under new business, what's the item you would like to add?
to address some of the concerns at TW Josie, please, ma'am.
Okay. All right, is the board in favor? Yeah, is the board in favor of adding this item to new business?
I'm in favor, just because it's for me personally.
Okay.
I think we,
If she in favor, I'm not, no.
I'm in favor because for me, I can't go another 3 weeks like this. I think we at least need to explain the name and committee from our policy. What is it? Just read it. It's black and white. How does it work? It's a lot of inaccurate information going on, incomplete and inaccurate. And for me, since we are all here as a board, clear up some of this so we have people in true emotional distress right now.
Yes.
And we do need to clear up some of this confusion while we are here as a board. So I personally agree with that.
We need a motion in a second.
Okay.
Make that approved.
Ms. Kane, can you make the motion, please, and then we'll call for someone to do a second?
My motion is to address some of the concerns from TW Josie and the naming committee, the sports, and all the other stuff that is not quite true.
Add it to the new business?
Yes.
All right, can I get a second, please?
I second.
All right. It has been motioned and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passed, and we will add that to the new business section. Everybody, please make a note of it on your agenda. All right, I think I had a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda. Did I? Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, can I get an approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been motioned by Mr. Lowry, second by Ms. Boyd. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. And can I get an approval of the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Mr. Lowry, second by Ms. Boyd. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so move. Okay, information only items. Yep, we can go straight to the committee meetings. Instruction committee. All right, so here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here at the instruction committee. Mr. Walker, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. These are the approvals of the John S. Davison Fine Arts field trips in London and Paris, and France, and in Germany and Switzerland.
Thank you, Ms. Stovall. In the interim, I believe Dr. Welch had passed out some additional information that we had questions about. If you've not received that and haven't had a chance to look it over, please do so. I know we had a lot of comments during the committee meeting. We had a lot of back and forth. I don't know if we need to revisit all that again, or do we just want to go down and do, unless somebody's got a.
No,
Yeah.
I was the main one, so thank you, Dr. Welch, and he did give me the information I was needing and he said you wanted to read it, so I won't go into all that, but it does address what happens, how will they accommodate, so thank you.
Okay, would you like me to read it into record, or? Sure. Okay. I'd like to thank Dr. Hall, the principals, as well as the team who assisted in getting this information in a timely manner. This is information retrieved from Aaron McSally, who is the regional rep for educational tours. The question was, what would happen if the group became stuck overseas due to any world event? The response was, we have had things like this happen before, and our emergency team has handled the situation. An example, when COVID happened, the company had several travel groups consisting of hundreds of customers who were able to return to the U.S. within 24 hours. Second question posed was, what is educational tours' response to accommodations in case of emergency? If there were a temporary pause on travel, the emergency response would handle booking the travel group. They would book the travel group in a hotel, and once the airspace reopened, they would make the return home flight arrangements at the company's expense. This would be done in the event of any world event. They have massive contracts with airlines. EF is the second biggest purchaser of flights after the U.S. military. Last question, what happens if the tour is over and the students cannot get their flight back? The tour is not over until the students are back in Augusta. EF Tours continues to book what they need to get home and make sure that it is paid for by the company.
It's very
All right,
true.
thank you for reading that for us. I guess the next question would be,
Call for a motion, but what I would request, since the vote was tight in the committee meeting, I would like to call for a roll call vote for each of these so that there is no doubt whether this passes or fails. So,
thank you, Ms. Stovall. We'll do each one of these separately, and we will
Yes,
have a
please.
roll call vote with each that Dr. Cobb will handle for us. The first is the approval of John S. Davidson's Fine Arts Field Trip to London, Paris between April 2nd and 11th, 2027.
so move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Dr. Cobb, if you will.
Ms. Shonda Stovall?
Yes.
Mr. Ed Lowry?
Yes.
Miss Mary Jane Abbott?
Yes.
Miss Shantae Boyd?
Yes.
Miss Monique Braswell? No. Miss Venus Kane?
No.
Mr. Walter Eubanks?
Yes.
Mr. Charlie Hannah? Miss Samantha Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Charlie Walker?
Yes. I believe that is
Seven yes, 2 no.
Okay, so that has
That will
been
pass?
approved.
Yep.
It doesn't need to carry over to any other agenda.
No.
It's just now.
No, it's the final.
Okay, thank you. We'll now have the second approval of John S. Davidson's Fine Arts Field Trip to France, April 3rd through the 10th, 2027.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Cobb, if you will.
Miss Shonda Stovall?
Yes.
Mr. Ed Lowry?
Yes.
Miss Mary Jane Abbott?
Yes.
Miss Shantae Boyd?
Yes.
Miss Monique Braswell?
Abstain.
Miss Venus Kane?
No.
Mr. Walter Eubanks?
Yes.
Mr. Charlie Hannah? Miss Samantha Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Charlie Walker?
Yes.
All right.
7 yes, 1 no, 1 abstain.
All right. We'll now move on to the last one, the approval of John S. Davidson Fine Arts Field Trip to Germany and Switzerland on June 6th through the 10th, 2027.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Cobb, if you will.
Miss Shonda Stovall?
Yes.
Mr. Ed Lowry?
Yes.
Miss Mary Jane Abbott?
Yes.
Miss Shantae Boyd?
Yes.
Miss Monique Braswell?
Abstain.
Miss Venus Kane?
No.
Mr. Walter Eubanks? Miss Samantha Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Charlie Walker?
Yes. All right. So that passes as well. So those field trips have been approved, and I guess the parents and the tour company and the kids can all start making their plans.
Thank you.
And that will end the approval part of the instruction committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walker. Next, we move on to other committee reports. Planning and zoning. Mr. Lowry, do you have a report for us this month?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. County Commission report. Ms. Kane, do you have a report for us this month?
Yes. Let me get to it. Okay, my understand the county commissioner They approved the proposal to accelerate the Broad Street construction. They approved that today. They also will put out the proposed future public conversations about the data centers being introduced to the community. And I also have a nice, good report on housing and where they are. Okay, Dogwood. The new name will be Edmund Hills. There's been vacants as of August the 1st. The contract has been signed for demo. Work should start in a few weeks, waiting on the city for permits. The city gave housing the deeds for First, Second, and Third Avenue to include Boat Drive and Leonard Drive as part of the demo. They have applied for funding for Phase 1, expected to be approved by March. Construction is expected to start in the fall of this year. This part right here, I think, is real exciting news, especially since that area and the area over by the Josie area has pretty much just been vacated and left. But they're going to start in Phase 1. Phase 1 will be approximately 220 family units.
Wow.
So we can expect 220 families moving in, hopefully with 2.5 children. That will help our economy and schools and enrollment in that area. The Dean Bridge location. The name of that housing unit is going to be Villages of Meadowbrook. Phase 1, as we all know, if you ride down Dean Bridges, the framing is up and the construction is well underway. Phase 2, which is another good, exciting thing, especially for our elderly. Phase 2 will be for the elderly, has been approved, and they hope to close out and start construction on that at the end of the year. Two other last things. One of the things I asked, because someone said that on Meadowbrook, they just cleared out a bunch of trees in one section. And it was said that those were getting ready to become houses belong to Section 8. And I'm like, well, that wasn't something that was communicated to me. So I asked about that today, so to kill that myth. Whatever's going on over there, whatever's getting ready to be built on Meadowbrook does not have to do with anything to do with housing. One of the things Doug said is the only thing that basically that they own is public housing and the mixed income housing. I asked, did he own any other land in Augusta that we don't know about? He said, no, that was it. There also is a scholarship that I sent to Charla to ask her to put on on whatever our website is, if feasible, for scholarships. They will be offering scholarships for students, and here's a good thing, adults who want to go back to college and finish their education, but there is a certain criteria that you have to meet. You have to either live in one of their public housings or one of their income-based housing to apply for. So I think that is a good thing for us as a city as a whole. But I'm more excited about the 220 family units coming to the Dogwood location once they start. That should be an economic boom for that area.
That's awesome. Ms. Kane, did you say that the new name will be Edwin Hills or Edmund Hills?
Edmund, let me get my glasses and my notes. It's Edmund Hill.
Okay.
And they were vacant. Everybody's moved out as of August the 1st. There are no families there as of now.
Okay.
Which I think affects Jenkins White. Dr. Cobb, can you help me? Jenkins White and
Turpin Hill area?
the Turpin Hill area. But that also goes into with the Turpin Hill area. There is a plan in place to start the redeveloping the Turpin Hill area. So again, that is another economic boom for that area that has been just dormant for several years. And that's the end of my report.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Kane. Ms. Abbott, do you have a Board of Health report?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record because I've said this a few times. The biggest thing coming out of public health right now is measles. I know that there's a positive case in Clemson. And the last time I checked and looked, it was about 400 over in the Barnwell, out in that part of South Carolina. But what I found out that was super interesting is that for those 400 cases, that touches about 10,000 people.
Jesus.
And quarantining for measles is 21 days. So I've been sending information to Dr. Gloucester, Mr. Allen, Dr. Cobb, because I don't want us, in case we do have a positive case here in Richmond County, I just want to make sure that we're not reactive, but we already kind of have an idea in place on what we need to do. But if everybody can look at this little sheet, this was sent by Ms. Nakasha White, who is, and I will get her title wrong, but I believe she is completely over all the nurses in our Richmond County Health Department. But who's at risk? Anybody who's too young to get their vaccine, which is under a year old. So any baby, any new infant is at risk for measles. Anyone who can't fight off infections. So even if you've had your MMR vaccine, but you have an immunocompromised anything going on, you can potentially end up with measles. Pregnant women and anybody who isn't vaccinated. Measles is like the number one easily transmitted, you just got to be anywhere near it and you can contract it. What we need to look for, and this is the big part that has to do with us in the school system. If your child is running a fever, if your child has a runny nose, if your child has a cough, sound familiar? Or red watery eyes, please do not send your child to school. That happens in the first 2 weeks. You don't see the rash until 3 to 5 days, which means the rash doesn't come up until after you're already contagious. So that becomes the problem. And you have to think, yes, the majority of our students are vaccinated, but we do have some students who cannot get the vaccine. We have some employees who cannot get the vaccine due to whatever medical reasoning. And if anyone becomes infected, that's a 21-day quarantine. So what that's going to do to our teaching staff, what that's going to do to having substitutes, it could potentially be a lot. So I don't say all of this to be fear-mongering at all, just to be very cautious. Please don't send your children to school if they have a fever. If you do end up with measles, please contact the public health department and your doctor as quickly. But I do feel very confident in our staff and the fact that we have all the information that we will not be in a reactionary situation if this does happen in Richmond County.
Ms. Abbott, have y'all discussed anything about foot and mouth disease? That has been, I've noticed there's a lot of talks about cases on the rise of that as well.
So hand, foot, and mouth, not necessarily in the public health meetings that we've had recently, but when I was working in the preschool, hand, foot, and mouth is it moves quick. Yeah. It'll shut a whole classroom down pretty fast. Hand, foot, and mouth is typically you see in younger students, but it is transmitted feces. So if you're using public toilets, if you're using the baby changing stations, you can contract it that way pretty easily. And then what will happen is it'll run through. So if you have it on your hand and you touch the doorknob and then your child touches the doorknob, so it'll run pretty quickly through a household, and it can run pretty quickly through a classroom as well. Hand, foot, and mouth is also one of those where by the time you see the rash, you've been contagious for 2 weeks. So you can't go solely on the rash because you've already no telling who you've already exposed.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, legislative report. As you know, the sessions are back in Atlanta. We have a special election coming up here in the Richmond County area for District 130. Ms. Gladney, Ms. Heffer, she's Ms. Hefner now. She had to vacate her seat because of residential areas. Her house was damaged during the hurricane, and they could not get back into that home. And so she stepped down out of her seat. And so we have that election coming up in March. There are a number of candidates who have announced, and there are going to be a few more, I can imagine. Qualifying is coming up soon, so get to know your candidates. That is our representations. I think it's District 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8. They're the representation for us in Atlanta for the things that we need done. So education, community, jobs, that whoever wins that seat is the representation for those district 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8. So that is District 130. You can go to the Board of Elections site and you can find out what district you live in and if you are in District 130 so that you can make sure that you go out and vote. Please vote locally. Please vote locally. Your voice does matter. Your voice does make a difference in your local government. Also, they are going to be bringing back talks about a number of education commitments that last year just almost made it, but didn't quite make it. And so next month, we'll have a full list of all of that that's coming back. Ms. Fletcher, there's some things I want to pass to you because I know that you were aware of some of the items. And so I did not want to report on without talking to you first because I know that you work closely with those things. So look forward to me harassing you in the next coming week. But that's it for the legislative report. Economic Development Authority, Ms. Boyd, do you have a report for us this month?
Yes, briefly. So they discussed the new data center, which is slated to break ground this quarter of 2026. I told you previously that there was discussion on budget, but it wasn't specific yet. So now they're discussing their actual budget, which was a 50% cut in commercial and retail funding, and they will be allocated $90,000 for 2026. So most of the meeting that was discussed. The 2024 audit was clean, and that was all I had this month.
The $90,000 that they have allocated, is that for small businesses only or any businesses coming into the area?
Well, the report says economic development took a 50% cut in commercial and retail funding and will be allocated $90,000 for 2026. I don't recall them breaking down the $90,000. I can ask Cal,
Okay.
and I know he knows.
It sounded
but I
like it
don't.
would still be for commercial and retail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, well, they also did report on this time of the year, a lot of companies are just trying to get their bearings and see how they ended in 2025. So they haven't had many reports on new business. They've had some interest, but not much new business yet. Obviously, how that goes, so.
Taxman income.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll move on to our superintendent's remarks. Dr. Cobb, we turn it over to you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, President Stovall, members of the board, staff, families, and community partners. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'd like to begin by celebrating a significant achievement in our school system. Recently, 7 Richmond County schools were named to the Georgia Department of Education's fiscal year 25 CSI Progress List for demonstrating meaningful academic growth. These schools include Glen Hills Middle School, Jamestown Elementary, Jenkins White Elementary, Meadowbrook Elementary, T.W. Josie High School, W.S. Hornsby Elementary, and W.S. Hornsby Middle School. To earn this recognition, schools must show at least a 5% increase in their CCRPI content mastery and earn an 80 or higher in one of the additional CCRPI component areas, such as progress, closing gaps, or readiness. Clear indicators of academic momentum and strong instructional practices. And I want to commend the leaders, teachers, staff, students, and families of these schools for their dedication. This recognition reflects intentional work, sustained effort, and a commitment to ensuring that every student has a chance to succeed. As we look ahead, I also want to express my gratitude to our community for your engagement during our recent public comment period on our facilities master plan. Your feedback, your questions, and your ideas are invaluable. And we do not take for granted the time that you invest to share what matters most to you. Because this plan is not just about buildings, it's about creating learning environments that serve our children well for decades to come. So thank you for leaning in, for challenging us, and for helping ensure that we make thoughtful, future-focused decisions. Your involvement strengthens our work. And finally, I want to acknowledge that yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a national day of service. Dr. King reminded us that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So as a community, I encourage all of us to carry that spirit forward, not just for a day, but throughout the year. Our children watch what we model, and when we choose service over division, collaboration over conflict, unity over uncertainty, we shape a stronger, more meaningful future for them. So I encourage us, let's continue to work together, schools, families, faith communities, and civic partners, because our progress depends on our unity. Our students deserve a community that stands together, dreams together, and builds together. So thank you for your continued trust and partnership. I am proud of what we are accomplishing, and I am inspired by what lies ahead. Let's keep moving forward together to prove what's possible.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb, and I apologize. I overlooked Ms. Valentine. She has a report from a state board.
And it's okay. It's for the Southern Alliance of Professional Health Liaisons. But to piggyback off of Mary Jane, you do have a tool where you as a parent can type in your zip code and tell the nearest location of measles outbreak. So you can do your due diligence in looking that information up. It will be shared via email, the specified link. But also, I just want to say kudos to our Richmond County, because within the state of Georgia, we have 8 districts, not ours, that were listed as school districts that were more than 15% non-compliance in vaccines. And that does not apply to us. So kudos to the data that we are collecting and making sure that our students are vaccinated and getting that message out to families.
All right, RCSS. Woohoo. We always winning in something. Like, Next, we will move on to new business. This was just added to our agenda tonight. We want to start the discussion, and I will ask that we keep the conversation centered on facts and not feelings, and that we consider what we're trying to address. Ms. Boyd specifically asked that we address the misinformation that's out there. And so we're going to have Dr. Cobb, Dr. Allen, I just promoted you. Mr. Allen, I just like
You getting there.
Dr. Cobb, Mr. Allen, and Dr. Welch to bring us up to speed on what's facts versus fiction, more so around closing of Josie, the naming of Josie, the jobs of employees that are employed at Josie and Murphy. Because I know that was some of the questions that was asked, what about my job, kind of a thing. And then what is the proposed intent for Josie?
You can go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, so I think we'll start with our staff first as well, and kind of what that process looks like. So I will let Dr. Shepherd touch a little bit on what our process is of how we meet with staff immediately after there's any vote to close a school and what that looks like for staff. And then I'll come back and talk about a little bit what the maintenance process is, and then kind of address your second question as well.
First, I want to stress every person who makes the decision to return to our school system, some will retire, they all have a position. Once the vote goes through, whether it's a yes or no, we will meet with staff. We'll have a conversation with them to let them know the next steps. The first step is we do want to ensure that the goal is to place them where the students are going. Some may elect to go to another school, or some may have a preference of a school for whatever reason that is. So once we meet with them, we immediately will send them a survey so they can go ahead and let us know their top 3 schools. And the coordinators work very closely with them and the principals to ensure we get them within their top 3 schools. We also will be having an internal job fair for everybody, and they will be able to come out also and meet with all the principals and speak with them. And I hope that clears up some misconception of that. Again, I just want to add and stress, every employee does have a position, and we work really hard to ensure that they get one of their top 3 schools.
Mr. Allen, I want to, I got a question to something you said, because it kind of adds to the confusion. When you're saying closing a school, I wanted to be on record that the proposal is not to close. Most people, when they think about closing, they think about doing away with it altogether. The purpose and the proposal is to remodel T.W. Josie and rebuild T.W. Josie. Now, I know some people have played semantics. You got to close it to remodel it. But closing it in this atmosphere, meaning that there will not be an existence, that is going away, and we are not closing Josie. We are rebuilding Josie. We are remodeling Josie. I think part of the confusion comes is when we use that word close, and most people, because of the history of how we've used it, when we are saying we're closing Jenkins White, we're closing Terrence Manor, we're closing, and it means do away with it. I would hope that we could use another phrase when referring to Josie, because the plan is not to close it, but to rebuild it. And so if we, it's here. And so permanent, it does sound like we're just getting rid of Josie. And I think that's where the confusion from the other night came from. The meeting went from give us the name, don't change the name, to don't close our school. And I don't think we portrayed that very well to them, that we're not closing Josie, we're remodeling Josie. We are repurposing. That's it. That's great. That's wonderful.
That's the exact word, repurposing. It's like when you buy some of these folks who's doing the storm, their house tore down. They closed their house, but guess what? When they came back, they rebuilt their house.
Yes.
Bigger and better than what it was.
So we would try to stick with using the words repurposing. Want to reiterate what Miss Dr. I'm demoting people and promoting people. What Dr. Shepherd says, that every person that is employed with the Richmond County School System will have a job with Richmond County School System. And I always like to add, unless you decide that you don't want to work for Richmond County School System anymore. Also, can we address what would be the purpose of remodeling it, repurposing it, that school system? School building, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's kind of wide open. So if I say more than is what you're asking, you can kind of help make sure. So what the proposal was, I'm going to use the word repurpose. Okay, that's what you asked. All right. Is that the Josie as we know it would be repurposed. So the attendance zones that exist today that are saying you live at this neighborhood, so Josie is your zoned school, that would change. What would happen there at the property is that this would be a district-wide attendance zone, which means anyone within Richmond County would be eligible to put in your name to say you are interested in coming to what I'm going to call right now, right, like the T.W. Josie College and Career Academy, because we are proposing that we use that particular land. We take what's there to be able to build a college and career academy that would serve the needs of everybody that's in the current attendance zone, as well as others who are interested. It's going to have a career education focus. So what we really have proposed is that if you take the current Murphy building, that is where a lot of your core classes would happen. ELA, math, science, social studies, fine arts. That would be what I'm going to call like the core content area. The current footprint of what we know as T.W. Josie, minus the cafeteria, would be torn down so that we can build like a modern, state-of-the-art college and career academy that would focus on some of those career pathways, what we call high-demand career pathways, identify both the state of Georgia, regionally, and our Carl Vinson Institute. Our students, when they would come to this site, we proposed that it would have flexible hours. So it would run your traditional 8 to 3, but then it's open again from 4 to 6 for what I'm going to call a night class. And that would be open to those students who attend this facility, as well as attend our other high schools, will be able to come over and take some of these CTAE pathways. Because what is going to be offered here is really specialized programming. I'm going to use a term that one of the alumni said, so kind of like CTA 2.0. I said, sure, you could think of it that way. For example, we are proposing culinary arts. On this particular site, it's not just the back of the house learning the kitchen. There is also a restaurant that we've proposed that faces that 15th Street side of the road that would be open hopefully one day a week. So our community would be able to come in and the students would be able to run the restaurant. So it's not just learning the culinary, it's learning the whole business. Another example of something we would like to put there and we've proposed is the heavy machinery operator. There are these simulators where a student can get in, earn your hours, to be able to pick up your certification to run a backhoe or a forklift, and they would earn those credentials while they are there at the site. Each of the pathways that we've chosen are all high-demand pathways. What we've proposed is that the students would be able to get the traditional 23 credits, or they can also do that accelerated career diploma where they are going to be doing fewer of the core and more of the CTAE through dual enrollment and partnership, as well as earning those additional credentials for our students. So a lot of the programming that would exist in that building is very different from what we have right now. And so that's a part of what we would like to propose at that site in the future. One of the questions that has come up is like, what do you do with the students while we build? And so we've been receiving great feedback from our community about what happens with those students while we build. The proposal, as we put it out, is that we would take a look at rezoning those students effective this fall. And those students would be rezoned to the feeder patterns of Richmond Hill Middle and Butler, Hornsby Middle and Laney, Langford Tutt, and ARC. That's the 3 areas where those students would be rezoned. But one of the things that we've also been asked to consider is what would it look like if you kept those students together during construction? And those are some of the answers that we're continuing to seek input on, as finding out like where would be a good swing space? Where could they go? Do we have the money to be able to do that? What would the timeline look like? So those are some of the things that we are getting from the community feedback that if there is a myth out there that we are going to board up the building and shut it down, sell the property, that's just not true. That's not accurate. So if we use the word repurpose, we would be repurposing that facility to serve students across the district, in the college, in the CTAE. Our goal is that when our students graduate, they're ready to go to work, not just for a job, but for a high-paying job, a job where they can help take care of their families without having to do 2 jobs. So these are some of the goals that we would have for all of the students that would be there, if that helps answer some of your questions. And then athletics, I think, has come up. If I can address that one briefly. There has not been in any of our conversations, any conversation about not having athletics. What has not been decided yet is which athletics would be on that site. Currently, that site has the capability, you've got football fields, you've got a performance gym, you have baseball, softball stadiums. So none of that is in a plan to be taken down. What we had discussed administratively and has not been approved by the board is that we would like for it to be student interest driven. What do those students want to do? I have been hesitant to say I can guarantee you'll have a football team. What if nobody wanted to play football? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll have students who might be interested. But that is a decision that we will make as we make decisions about what kind of programming exactly would come in that building. But there has not been any proposal from us to say that there would be no athletics. Currently, we have athletics in all of our different choice programs. They're just different ones based on student interest and facilities at our other spaces.
All right. Also, Dr. Cobb, it's a district-wide school, and there will be no testing for admittance, right?
Right. We would like to propose that it's interest-driven. So you go there because you're interested. Currently, we use that model. You're interested to go to RPM. You're interested in going to the PLC, the Performance Learning Center. So it's not a test that we take. It would be based on your interest, partly because of the pathways. That's a part of what we hope will draw our students.
All right, Ms. Boyd?
Okay.
And Ms.
So,
Kane?
Thank you for adding it to the agenda first. Thank you, Dr. Cobb. Dr. Cobb gave the very politically correct answer. So let me go ahead and just say it plainly because I have been quiet purposefully because I really wanted to give grace for the accurate information to come out so I would not have to address it. I have been asked to do interviews. I have declined because I wanted us as a board to address this, and I was trying to give grace for the accurate information to be told to the community. I really was. So plainly, we have not made a proposal for mascot, colors, name. We have not received a proposal for mascot, colors, or name. As a board, we actually have not addressed it at all. At all. For mascot and colors, it was really a given. It's at the site. The thought was the colors would stay the same. For name, some of the board members assumed the name would be the same. I'm aware of the policy. I knew it had naming committee in it, which is why I am asking Mr. Fletcher at some point to read the naming committee policy information so that the community has it. I think, and we as a board can own, we could have explained things better. There are some areas which we could have explained things better. Weeks ago, we knew it wasn't, a concern in the community. We should have addressed it. We should have addressed it. We should have nipped it. We should have made it clear. As a board, we will have to deal with the community does not have trust in us.
Yep.
They do not. We will have to build that trust. Unfortunately, we're at a disadvantage right now because it seems as though we have been lying, and we have not. There has been no malicious intent. There has been no misinformation from us as a collective. We did not discuss these things. And honestly, as a community, we have to do better.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
We
Ms.
said we
Boyd.
want change. We want things different, but it's too easy to say the board said.
Yep.
We have to get to a place. Ask questions. Who said it? If I said it, I'll tell you I said it. Ask
Right.
what 10 said it, when was it said, and where was it said? Because 99% of things we do is a camera. I mean, the only 1-2% is executive session, tribunal hearing, appeals. Other than that, it's either a room full of people, media, community, or it's a camera there.
Yep.
So as a community, I am asking, start asking us questions. If someone says the board says, whether it's one of the 10 of us, the administration or a community member, ask them who said it. And they say they don't remember, then it's probably untrue. Because if you can remember what was said, you should remember who said it.
Right.
So I do want to make it abundantly clear. We are open to let me speak for Ms. Shantae Boyd. I want to hear your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions on T.W. Josie, Barn Chapel, and because we keep forgetting we have other schools. And I do want to hear. We do have Jenkins White. We have, like I said, Barn Chapel, which is in District 4. And I just would like us to, until February 10th, to all collaborate, get the information out. Kind of ends. It's a lot of people upset right now. They are. And they really should not be because a lot of the things being said are untrue. Right. And I can't go to February 10th without saying that. So that's why I asked, can we please discuss this tonight? But I'll get off my soapbox. But I would like, I said Mr. Fletcher just because it's a policy. I don't really matter who reads it. But I would like just the naming committee because people don't understand. Naming committee has alumni on it. There's no world where the alumni will not pick T.W. Josie. There's no world. It just is not going to happen. So I would like that. No, go ahead.
I appreciate you saying that, Ms. Boyd. I mean, that soapbox move over a little bit because I share it with you. I think as a board, and this is why I am for transparency. I am for the integrity of the board because when people stand in front of us and accuse us of misappropriating funds, when they stand in front of us and misappropriate that we have not poured into that school, that we forgot about them, that we are not handling our money, we just had an audit. We just had an audit. The audit is available for public view. I am with, and I can speak for the board. Contact us. There are 10 board members. Our information is up on the website. Our board email is up on the website. Contact us. You can put us all on one email, and I ask that you put us all on one email so we all see the same information at the same time. Because it's like the telephone game. You can tell me something, but by the time I say it, I probably done added something mistakenly or taken something mistakenly out, and everybody don't have the full scope of it. We are all here. Our discussions are above board. I always tell the board, get out of that, go behind the scenes and call this person because people will accuse you that. We know there's group chats and we know there's people making decisions. We have not, as a board, had a discussion. And I, like Ms. Boyd said, the gym is not being torn down. It's still green and gold in there. It's still the Eagles up in there. We just assumed that the name would be T.W. Josie, but there is a process that as a board, we have to go through in the naming process. Ms. Kane.
I agree with Ms. Boyd that a lot of the information that's been put out has been inaccurate. But I think what hurts me more than anything is when we have been accused of misappropriating funds. Now, I got to say it. I like to drink me a glass of wine every now and then. I like to listen to my music. And I can't do none of that in jail or prison. And I'm not going to misappropriate anybody's money. We talk about what were resources that we're not pouring resources in. Well, let me just give them an idea of some of the things that we have done over at T.W. Josie. The old gym, I received a phone call last year that the peach jam was coming in. I was told the gym was full of rodents. Mr. Dunson went over with a team. They snatched everything out of that gym, repainted it, cleaned it up, sanitized it, and had it fumigated. The baseball field. We worked with Bobby Williams when he became mayor pro tem to put you a state-of-the-art football field baseball field about 3 or 4 years ago, I think I want to say it was. I learned from going to watch my grandson play. The scoreboard didn't work. I told them to order a scoreboard, that it didn't work, and I wanted it in time for football season. When I found out it didn't come, I told them I didn't care if they had to carry it from Atlanta on their back here. You all, T.W. Josie, would have a scoreboard. The cleaning of the school, when they went to check on the old gym, Mr. Dunson realized that the school needed some work until we could rebuild the school. So what he did is we went in and we had the school painted. We had new balance and lights put in to brighten up the school. When you walked in there was just a new feeling of brightness and a welcoming invite. Still could be better. When I found out, the basketball coach said, we don't have a washing machine. And I'm paying out of my pocket to wash clothes. I made a phone call, said they needed a washing machine. 6 months later, I found out the washing machine wasn't in there. I told them, they said they ordered the wrong washing machine and it wouldn't fit through the door. I told them I'm the only one that orders stuff that don't measure. So I had maintenance men that should have measured and made sure that washing machine would fit. They now have their new washing machine in the new gym. The football field, we're putting in a couple of $1,000 football field. Does that make sense if we put in a state-of-the-art baseball field? Now we putting the football field out there. And when I was asked, can we name it Dion? I called Mr. Allen, said, is that something we could do? He said, yes, so we are now making arrangements to ensure that Dion's name, which he has earned, and he does a whole lot for those students playing football. Let's talk about the arch. When it came time for the arch, they asked me to make sure, and Charlie and I have worked together to make sure that arch was kept safe, that nobody broke in and stole the arch, that the arch was refurbished back to its original glory days. We also put extra money into that school, money that the school does not earn, that comes from our general fund. So when you ask where your taxpayers' money's coming from, it's going to the extra principals. Dr. Cobb, would you like to tell them? And then tell them what the state gives them as well. So that myth that was put out there that we was misappropriating taxpayers' money and not putting the resources in there, that wasn't true. In order for this community to grow, we got to start trusting those and believing less of those who want to keep their foot on the very backs of the community they claim to care about. Every school that we have put in, I can go back to Haynes Elementary School. That was going to be a magnet school. The science part of education, STEM. It's going to be a STEM school. But all of a sudden, we got ready to open that school, that community boomed. Bel Air Elementary. I moved here in 1990. That Bel Air K-8, that land across the street from that school stood empty. From 1990 till the day we got ready to open, said we were putting up that school, and all of a sudden, we had a bunch of homes. When we planned Richmond Hill, K-8, there wasn't that many families over there. Soon as we built that school, families came from nowhere. We had to split the school. The same thing happened to Bel Air. So with housing putting 220 families over there, the redevelop of Turpin Hill and what we getting ready to do, what you think that's going to do to that area? That's economic development for a community that many folks walked off and left years ago. So this is a win-win, but most of all, it's a win-win for our students, because one of the things we said we wanted to happen was when those kids walked out of that program, and walked out of T.W. Josie. We wanted them certified, work-ready, and have all the credentials they needed to go to work, which means your child's now not in debt to Augusta Tech, Augusta State, or any college. They walking out the door making $40,000, $50,000 a year if they choose to. To me, it's about those babies that want to stay here and live in Augusta, but see or feel like there's not any opportunities. We're now giving them opportunities to stay instead of moving away and coming back when their parents get elderly and they have to help take care of them. This is a win-win situation. But Dr. Cobb, back to my thing. Please tell them just how much money and what we're paying for out of our taxes and what the state gives, so we can kill that myth that we're misappropriating funds.
Ms. Kane, I'm searching as fast as I can to put my hands on the dollar amount. Mr. Smith's looking for that as well. I can tell you that if you look at this school year, like we looked at the fall FTE, the number of students at the school, what they earned is 43 staff members. So the state paid for 43, but they have 60. So those additional 17 staff members were funded using local dollars to be able to help make sure that they have the staff that they need. I'm working on putting my hands on the per pupil spending, but I can tell you that it's higher than any of our other comprehensive high schools. But I'm going to get that number for you because I don't want to miss.
I got that, Dr.
Oh,
Cobb.
okay, great, Bobby.
All right, so the average for 2025, our average per pupil cost for our traditional high schools, we spent $12,643 per student on average for our traditional high schools. Josie High School, we spent $15,760 per student. So the spend per student for Josie was higher than the average of our traditional high schools. 2024, we had spent traditional high schools averaged $12,715. Our specific at Josie per student was $14,959 per student. So we are spending on average more per student at Josie than we are on our traditional high schools.
And Dr. Cobb, can you tell them how often RISA is in there, how often the state is in there, and just how much extra money the state gave us, please, ma'am?
Yes, I'm also looking for eye contact from Angeline. Okay, great. I may, Ms. Andrews Milton. Yes.
Can I say something? They may not have all of that. I just wanted to make sure that we.
I understand, but if they got their hands on it, if we gonna put it out here, let's put it all out there.
I don't know if she
about
have
what
all of
we,
that, though.
what was true.
It's definitely going to take some time.
I
That's
think we
fine.
put it on the.
But I know,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine, but I do know RISA's in there every
So,
day.
part of the reason why I can answer some of it is because we just shared this at the alumni meeting. And so we're trying to put our hands on that presentation. Sometimes when you're trying to put your hands on it, it's hard to pull up.
What
But
I do
our
want though,
recent-
Dr.
yes,
Cobb, I do want to make sure that we stay focused on this situation.
Yes, ma'am.
Just the closing. Everything else we can release out in a report or anything. I don't want to make anybody do no extra work at 7:21 p.m. because everybody want to go home. But I wanted us to address some things that's specific to this right sizing plan. And keep in mind, and here's what's happening that I don't want to happen. This has become the Josie show. I want us to focus on the Jenkins White. I want us to focus on Barton Chapel because those families and students are going to be impacted as well. So the facts are, we're not closing Josie, we're repurposing Josie. But the proposal is to close Jenkins White and Barton Chapel. Those are the schools that are proposed to, I'm sorry, and Murphy. Rebuild Barton Chapel. Thank you for the correction. It's a lot. Close Jenkins White and Murphy. Rebuild Barton Chapel and Josie. Those families in those schools will be impacted by the closing, Jenkins White and Murphy. All of our students will be impacted because this is a shift. This is a great big shift if we vote for this. And again, I say if because we have not made any decisions. We have not, as a board, discussed any sports. We have not discussed mascot, school colors, or anything. Literally, we were presented the proposal and we presented the proposal as presented to us. We are open and welcome to receive your feedback from any one of the board members that are here. Please put us all on the same email so we can all see the same information. We are open to having you to reach out to Dr. Cobb through her email. She would be happy to respond to you or have someone from her administration respond to you. But more than anything, I really wanted to just kill the myth that we are misappropriating our funds.
Yes.
We just had 24 amazing men and women stand up tonight that Ms. Boyd and Mr. Lowry highlighted for our monthly recognizing success. Those men and women go above and beyond to make sure payroll is right, our funds is right. Mr. Smith, I was about to call you Dr. Smith too. Okay, I'm promoting everybody tonight.
Promote 'em.
Mr. Smith comes in and he gives us every month our financial report where we can see line items, what's happening with our budget, what's happening with our savings account, what's happening when we collecting taxes. So you're not questioning us so much as you're questioning the men and women that do the work. We don't put our hands on the money. We don't sign. I don't sign anything. Mr. Lowry don't sign anything. And it's never no one person's signature. So there is no misappropriating funds. We are audited every year. Our audit is done by an independent party. You just met the gentleman tonight, and it's turned over to the state. I am proud of our staff at Richmond County School System. So when you say that we are misappropriating the funds, you're ultimately saying that those 24 men and women aren't doing their jobs. And I just cannot, with a clear conscience, allow people to say that about them. Because we don't see the money, we don't touch the money. They handle the money and they handle it well. We haven't had not one person in our finance department arrested for embezzlement. So I'm very proud of them for that. So are there any other questions or comments about information that is out, information we want to put out, whether it's about not just Josie, but Jenkins White, Barton Chapel, or Murphy?
I asked Dr. Cobb to read the naming committee part, so people
Yes.
would know, because we're teetering on it, but people don't know
Yes.
really who's on the naming committee.
Mr. Fletcher, I'm gonna turn that over to you, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna do the best I can to read all this. I have it on my phone, but it's awfully small. The board adopted or revised their naming facilities policy back in July. And let me stress first that any name, comes back to this board. Y'all make the final decision, not a committee, but the policy is very short. So I'll read that to you. So the Richmond County Board of Education has the responsibility to manage and control all school system buildings, facilities, areas, etc. This charge includes the authority to name, rename, or rescind the use of a name for all school system facilities, areas, sports facilities, or property. In fulfilling this responsibility, the board shall make every effort to consider the preferences of the local school community. And I think that's what y'all been doing. However, final selection of a name or names for new facilities shall remain a function of the board, not a committee of this board. It has been the practice of the Board of Education subsequent to 1978 to name new facilities after localities, communities, neighborhoods, and cities within the county, as well as geographic figures, as well as after individuals living or deceased. The practice of the board in naming new facilities is described in the companion procedure. So y'all did accompany the procedure.
Do you, and he's going to pull that up right now if you'd
Yeah,
like.
that'd be a lot easier unless y'all want me.
It was just me, I was asking for the procedure because the community has asked us not to have a naming facility. I understood it, and we can
Here you
discuss
go.
it on February 10th for sure, but I want them to understand, because we've never explained who's on the naming committee in all these weeks we've been talking.
It has been explained, but
Well, in July, but I mean during this process, yes, so you didn't do it at night, because we didn't do it that night. So I want them to hear who is on the naming committee.
Okay, well, first, let me say this, because with the procedure, you expand the new facility, language, somewhat. Because it says in the procedures, number one, during the construction of a new school or facility, or the process of consolidating schools, or the process of repurposing a school or facility, the superintendent will recommend to the board that a committee be appointed to make a new recommendation to the board as to the naming or renaming of the school or facility. So while the policy in the past had focused on new schools, so to speak, these procedures focus on also repurposing a school. Okay, and of course, the superintendent will ensure that a recommendation to form the committee will be included on an agenda at a regular or called meeting for that. And the committee form will include staff members, community representatives, and individuals with close ties to the school, such as parents and alumni. There again, I think that y'all are intending to do all of that. Section 4 states that the committee representation shall include the following individuals in policy: the board member who represents that district in which the school or facility is situated, the board member who serves as the chairperson of the board's building committee, the deputy superintendent of operations or his designee, the appropriate assistant superintendent, that has the cluster in which that school falls, the senior director of maintenance and facilities, the site administrator, the school site staff or faculty member, parents in the school's existing or proposed attendance zone, community representatives with close ties to the school or the attendance zone, director or teaching and learning, director of athletics, chief HR officer, director of communications, chief legal compliance officer and/or the board attorney, and the local historian if available. I think that ties into everything that that y'all's intent. I don't know that we need to read all of this, but I think just dropping down to number 10, the first meeting of the naming committee will cover the following topics: introductions, purpose, policy, brief history of the area and the school in which it's located, facts about the new school, the committee work sessions, the assignment of the next meeting. And then going down to number 11, it's talking about the second meeting. They will recap the first meeting. They will review potential choices for the name and mascot. They will take a vote on facility name and mascot. They will discuss that, and they will come up with their recommendation of the name and the mascot. And of course, the recommended names will not duplicate or cause confusion with any other name or existing school within the school system. And prior to the expiration of 60 days, the superintendent will bring the recommendation from the committee before the board for action. And the superintendent, then at that time, the board will vote on the matter. Here again, regardless of what, the committee, after the committee, the board can either accept or not accept that recommendation. And I think the recommendation is right in line with what you're intending anyway. But it will be that responsibility of the board to make the final decision.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. All right, any other questions, comments, or anything of this nature? Because we do have executive session, so.
I do.
All right, Ms. Braswell?
So I have a couple of questions. So with us tearing down the school for the purpose of repurposing it, when did we change the school code? Is that the reason for the repurposing? And if we did, when did we do that?
You would do that when you're ready to reopen. So no code, nothing has been done, no action has been taken. Let's say that the board approves February 10th as proposed. Before the school opens, usually about 6 to 8 months out, it has to be on the other side of the naming committee because I have to be able to tell the state what the name of the school is going to be. We would seek a school code. That is something that we do whenever we open a new facility.
So from where I'm sitting and I'm seeing this, and I'm gonna use the word y'all said, we're tearing down T.W. Josie, but we're opening back up the College Career Academy.
A college and career academy, like as a thing. Yes, ma'am.
Add Dr. Carr, make
But
sure you
no-
add comprehensive high school.
But I've been around to see schools go down and come back up. The name was never changed, point blank, period. When we brought Murphy from Milledgeville to T.W. Josie, no naming committee. The school name was still Murphy. I've been on naming committee, Bel Air Elementary School. understandable, brand new. But 1701 is not brand new. 1701 has been there since what, 1960 something?
1965.
1965. So the ask that I'm getting from the community is why even go through the naming committee, that this board has the right to overlook the naming committee piece. That's the only ask I hear. Everybody is in agreement that yes, a new building with whatever great courses that you all are wanting to put in there is a wonderful thing for the community, which is sounding like TCM to me. When you all first opened up TCM, I was on that committee. Same thing I'm hearing, except for the fact 1701 already has a name.
So let me ask you this, if I make a motion for this round of East Blocks, all schools, within this round, that there is no naming committee, are you saying you would second that?
Wait.
I'm
Yeah, say that
asking,
again.
I mean, we have to discuss it, but I'm asking, if we say there is no naming, because you can't just do one.
Right.
You gotta do them
Right,
all.
you gotta do them all.
And, right, so are we ready to go ahead? Because we can
'Cause
really, we're kind of doing wordplay right now.
And what will happen is, and I will say that, because the proposal is for whatever happens with Josie, whatever happens with Barton Chapel, whatever happens with Murphy, whatever happens with Jenkins White. If we're rebuilding Barton Chapel and we say we don't give Josie a naming committee, then we don't give Barton Chapel a naming committee, and we just choose the name. It falls on us to come up with a name.
Go back to something that
Hold on, let her respond.
Go back to something that we sent out, and until we start getting it right, I'm always going to take this position.
We never
I
had
don't
it wrong.
remember.
Hold on.
I do not remember the date. We received something from Charlotte that came from, I don't know if it was whichever one of y'all that said, the closing dates for Josie, Murphy, so forth on the opening date for the College Career Academy and the new Barton Chapel. We're not making Barton Chapel a new school. We are tearing down Barton Chapel and building the state-of-the-arts Barton Chapel, which is the same thing that we're doing with Josie. Barton Chapel is not a new school. It's already a school. Josie is already a school. A new school in this community,
I see what
in
you're
the
saying.
minds of people like myself and people of the Josie alumni is this.
I see what you're saying.
We are building, if we're,
I see what she's saying.
so for me, Charlotte, please, on the record, here's the thing for me, because my emotions is starting to take over my comment. What I'm saying to you all, 1701 and whatever that address on Barton Chapel Road, those are schools that we're just building down to make better. Those are not schools like Bel Air Middle School, Bel Air Elementary School, Murphy. Murphy came from Milledgeville Road to 1723, whatever that street is over there. We never changed the name. My thing is this, leave the name of T.W. Josie. At the end of the day, this will go away. We're making a problem that we don't have to have.
Okay, so hold on a second. I get exactly what you're saying now, Ms. Braswell. So she's saying, in the memo that was sent out, it said the new Barton Chapel. That if we're continuously calling it Barton Chapel, we know it's going to be the new Barton Chapel. Why are we not saying the new T.W. Josie?
Because it said South Augusta Elementary School, and when I asked Mr. Baker about it earlier in the year, he changed it to say Barton Chapel, and he said in the meeting, to cut the confusion, I will change it to say Barton Chapel.
Right, so that's what she's asking. That's what she's asking. If we're referring to the new school, that school as the new Barton Chapel, we keep talking about it as Barton Chapel, why can't we just say that this is going to stay Josie?
Well, it's even when you talk about Murphy. We built, let me give some history, because see, history repeats itself.
It does.
When we moved Murphy, Murphy stayed open until we built the annex to put them in. So we didn't close Murphy.
It did not, Venus.
Excuse me, but I was on the board, until we actually finished that school. Murphy was put over there to help build the numbers up at T.W. Josie and to help to share the resources. That's what happened, because I voted for it. We did not move those kids until that school, because I'll never forget Dr. Frazier.
They went to a swing space. They went to Bungalow Road.
Thank you.
Okay, they went to Bungalow Road, but it was still Murphy because it was gonna be Murphy when we went over there. So bottom line is, we have a policy in place, and the policy has worked. Out of all the schools, Tut Middle, we refer to it as Tut Middle.
Let me say this. The reason the reason there's confusion is because the community was misinformed and said that there was a proposal to change the name. That's where it starts and stops.
Right.
That is where the misinformation came. That is what put the community in an uproar.
Right.
Because the community should have been explained what a naming committee is, how it works, what is the purpose. We are at a place now that the community is upset because the community was told the board is trying to change the name. If we're going to talk about it, we're going to have to actually discuss it factually and what happened. The community is not upset and in an uproar about the name for no reason. They're upset and in an uproar about the name because they were lied to. That's what happened. So we have to actually have the conversation. Now, I hear what you're saying. But to make sure I'm understanding, they're not as I would say loud. But Barn Chapel has a lot of people calling me too about the name. Mm-hmm. There's a full program and all kind of things. People saying, I went there 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'm listening. As a board member, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I am, because I do want to hear that from them. But we do have to have a real conversation on why the community is upset. The community is upset because they had wrong information.
You're right.
And
that is, and that's the end of it. That's the clear crux of it. But here today, this is officially on record. Yeah. And after today, any information that's put out can be pulled from the record. Mm-hmm. And we have factual information going on. And I hope that Haley, as a matter of fact, could we do a media release, if possible, to put this information out so that accurate and factual information will get out, and then people can go from there. I saw Miss Abbott and Miss Valentine.
Okay. So Venus, I don't know the history of this. I don't have a dog in the hunt. I'm District 8. Personally, I like the name T.W. Josie. I'm a history teacher. We have very few schools named after people, and I enjoy that as a history teacher. But my statement right now is to make a case for policy, following our policy, and not just haphazardly deciding not to follow it this time and follow it the next time. That's right. And that's because of precedent. So if this was happening to a school in my district, let's just choose Blythe Elementary. I believe people would be very angry and upset. But I would still say we should have a naming committee. But what I think people are not following is that the people on the naming committee are the community.
Exactly.
It is the community's choice to choose T.W. Josie. And I will go on record, I hope that you do.
That's right.
I hope that you do.
That's right.
More specifically, it's alumni on the naming
Well,
committee, and the name
right,
will be.
right. And that's fine. But I hope that you do. But we have to, if we're going to build back trust with our community, if we just decide to pluck out a policy and say we're not going to follow it this time,
yes,
what is to stop people from, well, you did it that time, you're just going to not follow your own policies. This is our policy. We will follow I will vote to follow our policy, but I will also say we should have a naming committee that represents what the community wants. And when they bring to us, which I would assume more than likely will be T.W. Josie, and if we do throw a career in tech, that's, but it's going to say T.W., and they say they want gold and green, and they want the nest, and they want the eagle, I will gladly vote yes. And then we can move on to the bigger and brighter thing, which I am so excited about. the opportunities that we're going to bring to Richmond
State-of-the-art
County with these classrooms.
That's right.
Everything that we're going to be able to do for Richmond County as a whole. I love CTAE. I'm excited to see stuff that we're going to be able to do in the evening. We're going to be able to help potentially, fingers crossed, our unwed mothers. We're going to have parenting. We're looking at things that we can do. So we're focusing on the wrong thing.
Preach.
Let's keep our policy, follow our policy, and look at what we can do for our students. Thank you.
And I
I tell you,
second that along
Mary
with
Jane
you.
got that haircut and a little fire come out of it.
I like that. I agree with
Miss Valentine?
It's no different from what Ms. Abbott just shared, but I don't think the community is aware of the process. I just recently was able to participate in a naming committee, and again, the work, the detail that goes into that, it doesn't mean the name is going to change. Langford Tut exists. Yes, during that process, they were working. We had teachers, we had parents, we had principals. It was a great mix of community leaders sharing the history, doing PowerPoint presentations. We're looking at what are some different landmarks in the area. But again, at the end of the day, did the name change?
No.
Nope.
It was a combination, actually.
Combination.
But we went through the process, and I don't think the community understands that a process doesn't mean the end result is going to be the name being changed. It's just a formal process that we go through so that we can say we have included every stakeholder in the community. The board did not make a decision without involving every stakeholder, and that's what means the most to me.
All
That
right.
everyone has a collective input in the process, and we just go through the process. Again, the mascot, we're not merging schools, so why would the mascot have to change?
Right.
But those are things that you go through and you learn as you go through the naming committee.
I think now that they know, they'll understand the process. Before they didn't understand the process because they didn't know the process. But I think they understand the process now.
I like to reiterate, if you don't know, pick up the phone and call somebody. Because
No, put it in the email. So let me, here's, I believe in paper trails, and I believe in being held accountable, because you can get on the phone and do he say, she say, and I like to cut out the middleman. Put it in an email, put it in black and white. That way we are held accountable for anything that we say in response to you. Put it in black and white.
And if
But we
some-
are beginning to repeat ourselves. We understand.
Madam President.
Oh,
Madam
yes, sir.
President.
Oh, look at who came back on
So-
over here.
So we are pretty much the majority of us is settled on following our existing policy, right?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, because I often put a nuclear out there, so I'm fine. Thank you.
No, we cannot be a governing body and choose how we want to govern. Rules apply, and rules we must follow, especially rules that we set for ourselves. And I agree with Ms. Abbott that it begins to look like favoritism, that we're easily succumb to pressure when things don't go the way some people like, when we detour and veer away from the policies that we have set to govern ourselves. But so that we are clear, we've all clarified, we've had the staff clarify, answer questions that we had. We have people putting things into place to put it out there. We're repeating ourselves, don't want to beat a dead horse. Mr. Eubanks, oh, look at that.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir.
But finally, we 10 people have the final vote, no matter what the committee says.
That's right.
Just remember that.
Right.
So it's our responsibility,
Ditto.
no matter what the committee comes back with,
I'm asking we not end it
like the
there.
name as it is. But I'm telling
End it
you
like that.
that we have a vote that we are responsible for that name.
Understandable, but I would also like to say, that as history have shown, whenever the committee comes back with a recommendation, we follow it. We don't have a reason not to, because the committee is the one that did the work. Yes, we do have a vote and what it will be, but the history have shown that the board has always followed the recommendations of the committee. So,
And I stand corrected on the Murphy.
All right, so next we're gonna move on. We have no old business. Thank you, everyone, for a respectful conversation. We're gonna move on to announcements. Ms. Lowry, you said you had an announcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
On January the 3rd.
Come on.
Our president celebrated her 25th birthday.
You better come on.
So tonight, we will want to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Listen, my life has gotten better when I can get serenaded by the Dr. Ed Lowry. Thank y'all very much. My birthday is a national holiday. Y'all just don't even understand. But thank you, Mr. Lowry. The Richmond County School System will hold its middle and high school all-county band concert on Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at Tubman Education Center. The Richmond County School System will hold its winter graduation on Thursday, January 29th, that's next week, 2026 at 6 p.m. at George P. Butler Gymnasium. The Richmond County Board of Education will hold its February 2026 committee meeting on February 10th, 2026 at 4 p.m. The February 2026 regular board meeting will immediately follow the conclusion of the committee meeting. Next, we move into our public comment. We have one person on tonight for public comment. We would like to remind our public that our public comment section is an opportunity for you to speak to the board. We ask that you do not make your statements personal, that you do not attack any employee, attack any board member, attack any staff member of the Richmond County School System. You will have 3 minutes to state your name, your address, and then your time will commence after you've done so for you to make your public. Vulgar language will not be tolerated, and disrespectful language and personal attacks will not be tolerated as well. So next, coming up, we have Mr. Michael Hollis. Oh, he already down there. You know the process, Mr. Hollis.
Good evening. Go Big Ten.
Your time's up, Mr. Hollis. Your time's up, sir.
Hey, SCC is whacked. Hey, what can I say? Anything. Anyway, my concerns are special education. Special education is a data-based education. So the IEP consists of data, benchmarks, triggers, and that's all kept by data. I've been subbing in this county for 4 years, and I have never seen any data. Anybody that works with a special needs student in Richmond County has to have access to that data or to that IEP so they can serve our most vulnerable students with the most prompt information. The IEP is a legal document. We got all these people in the Richmond County School District and the board, and all of them have doctors, a lot of doctors in here. And I know they took their class on statistics. I know they took that class. But why are they not giving these special needs kids, why are they not taking data? So with that being said, if the data isn't there, now you got to go back through due process to get these kids diagnosed with the proper diagnosis. I've been in classroom where these kids didn't have wasn't special need. They had one bad day and they throw them in a behavior class. So that is a big concern of mine in this district. Like I said, I worked special aid for 30 years. I came here, I took the little Gates test. I didn't know it only lasted 5 years, but it did. So data and special needs. If you don't take data, and if you don't have benchmarks, and you don't know a child's triggers, it's going to be a failure. It's going to be there's no data on any kid being taken in Richmond County School District. That's a problem. That's criminal. So I don't want to say you guys are criminal, but somebody got to step up to the plate. Somebody. All right? Go Bears. I love this weather, too. This is good weather we have it now. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Hollis. Can I get a motion to adjourn to executive session, please? And as we move into executive session, you are welcome to stay for us to come back out, but you're welcome to go home as well, because we cannot tell you how long we will be in executive session. Yep. And board members, please leave your phones and all recording devices. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All right. You gave the motion. Can I get a second, please?
Second. Second.
All right, it has been motioned by Ms. Kane, second by Ms. Valentine. All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will adjourn for executive session. Board members, please leave your telephones, your laptops, your smartwatches. I'm out of executive, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
we gotta-
Wait, I'm sorry, that's right. Can I get a motion that we come out of executive session and that no action was taken during such?
I make a motion that the board end executive session and that the chairman be directed to execute an affidavit in accordance with state law affirming that no subject was discussed during executive session that violated the Open Meetings Act of the state of Georgia.
Second.
All right, is motion by Ms. Boyd, second by Mr. Lowry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Can I get a motion for the workman's comp case?
And I can do both.
Yep.
Okay, so I make a motion that we agree to the workers' comp cases as discussed.
So moved.
All right, it's been motion by Ms. Boyd, second by Mr. Lowry. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Can I get a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned by everybody and second by everybody. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good night, everybody. Get home safely and stay warm this weekend.
Oh, yeah,